The reason why the human race is so different from any other race or species maybe is in existence, and I'm sure there are other species somewhere out there in some extraterrestrial form, is that we have the ability to learn. We are creatures where information, the dispensing of information, the accumulation and the acquisition of information is at our disposal. But what makes us even more unique, in my opinion, is the fact that even with the acquisition of the information that we have in this century, is that we really don't learn from our mistakes. I mean, I am a culprit. I like to call myself out first as a hypocrite. There are things that I have done and things that I may still do unknowingly, because most of the stuff I think I've become aware of, my habits, my actions. But there's so many things that I used to do repetitively to my demise. And they were negative things. They weren't things that were positive. They were things that I knew that even if I did them, that it wouldn't have a favorable outcome in my life. And I did it anyhow. Things like dieting, eating the wrong things. Oh, I love food that is not good for me, even though I know better. Relationships. Yeah, I have been guilty of that too in the past, just not unlike, my clients that I counsel. You know this thing is not good for you, but it's like a moth to a flame. You still go head first, headlong into a disastrous situation that the only result, the only outcome that matters is your demise or you having to lose ground based on the work you've done with yourself. The beautiful thing about counseling, the beautiful thing about life coaching, the beautiful thing about therapy is that when you come into that environment and you find the right person, a person who is willing to listen to you, a person who's not going to tell you what you want to hear, but tell you what you need to know or share truth with you or speculate on truth, because a lot of therapy is speculative to the point where you can't really know someone, right? Even you can live with someone for 30, 40 years and still not know everything there is to know about that person. But yet, when we come to counseling or we come to life coaching or therapy, we want resolution. We want that person to know us really well based on just a few interactions. No, it's a continuous thing. It's something that we both are engaged on finding the answers that you're coming for or that you're seeking. One of the things that I have found really proliferate recently about counseling and helping other people is that a lot of times people don't realize that there's things in you, things that you may or not understand that are affecting you, things that are unconsciously affecting you that need to go in order for you to grow and become your better self. Look at it this way. It's like cleaning out the space, finding all the stuff in that space that is taking up extra space and unwanted space and removing that stuff so that you have more space. It's more space to grow, more space to become this great personality that you always envision yourself being, or this great person. Moving out and getting rid of things that are hindering your growth is a natural and necessary part of the process of becoming a better person. Getting rid of those things that are hindering you is necessary. A lot of times you may not know the thoughts or behaviors or why those behaviors are happening, and engaging or meeting with someone who can help you work through the issues and point you in the right direction is really beneficial. I started this conversation because I started by saying that we as human beings don't learn from our mistakes. And that's not true for everyone, but the majority of us, I mean, there may be some truth in that. When I think about the fact that I have clients that are still dealing with abuse, not abuse that happened 40 years ago or 50 years ago, but sexual and physical abuse and verbal abuse in their families from as recent as maybe a year, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Why are we still repeating these cycles of dysfunction, these cycles of negativity? It's because people don't really care as much as they say they do. It's because people are not as vigilant as they need to be. There are people, I have one client, And, she showed up in the hospital many times looking for help, and people ignored the obvious and didn't help her. Or another client whose brothers molested her, and, she didn't speak up, even though somebody else did. She chose not to because of fear of embarrassment, because of fear of hurting other people, or fear of just damaging the family. At what point do you put yourself on the back burner and put other people's needs ahead of your own? At what point do you not realize that if you're not okay, then nothing else is okay? That I usually say, you know what? I'm okay, they're not okay. But nobody has Baker acted me yet for saying that. But it's the truth. The truth is that we value the collective sometimes more than we do the individualistic endeavor, the individuals who make up that collective. We need to care about people. We need to care about what's going on with people. We need to care about each other. We live in an age, in an era where social media and technology is taking away more of that. They take away the fabric of us socializing, or the fabric of us getting to know each other on a more intimate, a more personal level. How does someone know that you're hurting if you don't have anybody to talk to? How does someone help you if someone is unaware of the fact that there's something where, or some area where you need help? We need to become more diligent. Need to become more aware. We need to care more about other people. And that starts by caring about ourselves too. It's a dichotomous relationship, right? You can't have one without the other. We both need to think about ourselves at the same time, as well as think about our fellow man, the woman sitting next to us on the bus, the person sitting next to us in class, the person sitting in the emergency room at the hospital, the person who doesn't know how to talk, that person who's just gone blank, who doesn't have any speech to describe the horrors that they're enduring. My cry and my plea today is for you to speak up. It's for you to tell somebody else what you're going through. It's for you to acknowledge that, guess what? This is not just, a lot of times when you can't speak up, you're actually thinking, you know what? This is my problem. You're absorbing guilt about the situation. You're feeling guilty. You're feeling like somebody else is going to blame you for what's happening to you. It is one of the most painful things that I've ever heard, but it is one of the most truthful occurrences in our generation. The reason why people don't speak up when they're being abused, whether it's physically, sexually, mentally, or verbally, is because they really think that they're contributing to the behavior that's being exhibited towards them. Help me dispel that notion. Help me help others come forward and speak their truth. Even though you're afraid to do it, don't look at the outcome. Just look at the fact that you can be strong enough in this moment to tell someone else what's going on with you. Speak up. Send somebody a note. I've watched movies. I used to watch Little House on the Prairie, and there was this girl that would send bottles. She would send notes in bottles down the river, and Laura found the bottles and was able to help her in her dilemma. Put notes, write a letter, pass a note. If you cannot speak about the things that are happening to you, if you are having, issues with getting help, find a way to speak up, find a way, pray and ask God to help you, to give you the courage that is needed. I know you're afraid. I know in this moment you're thinking, what she's asking me to do, she doesn't understand the risk involved. She doesn't understand what's going to happen to my family. She doesn't understand what's going to happen to me. I don't. But there's always that opportunity. There's always that chance that where you are right now, that something better will happen if you choose to speak your truth. If you choose to take a risk that is greater than the risk of losing yourself. You matter. You are valuable. You matter to me. You matter to others. So stop thinking that nobody cares, because even though we live in a generation where most people are selfishly thinking about their own survival, we do care. The moments in this realm where people come together and show they care is indicative of the fact that they do care when it matters. Your life matters. They're talking about Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. And the life that matters more is a life that is threatened by extinction because someone else is cruelly treating that person in such a way that that person has lost their own mind and their own way. Speak out. Don't hide anymore. Come out of the closet. Come out of the shadows. Come from under the cellar. Find your way into the light. The light is full of love. And I hope that you recognize that sharing is caring. And even though the person you may have shared with in the past did not exhibit such caring, you keep on sharing until you find the person, the right person, who will give you back what you're looking for. And that's a hand, a helping hand. My name is Ingrid Felton. This is a very important topic to me. And that's why I'm speaking out today about physical, mental, verbal abuse of any kind. Please come out. Please speak up. Your voice can be heard, and your pain will not only be felt, but it will be addressed. Thank you as always for visiting my YouTube channel. Thank you for subscribing to the videos and liking the videos. Continue to share with others. Continue to tell others about what I'm doing here. I always say the same thing because I want to help and I want to make a difference. And if the difference is just with one person, it would have been worth it. Thank you. Bye.